got the previous recording, but no harm in recording this one as well.
Yeah, so we'll record this one as well. So, Imran, did you just want to cover the curriculum very quickly?
Will do, yes. Thank you very much. So, colleagues, this is the outline of the key themes that are informing the BCU Initial Teacher Education curriculum, and it permeates all our documentations. It permeates our curriculum. It permeates our tracker system. It permeates our school-based work. Basically, this is informing what we intend our teachers to become. And you would see that pupil well-being is mentioned in theme B. If you do find any document which has got pupil well-being in another theme, please do not use that document, and best to discard that document, because this is where it should actually be. And if you look carefully, this is a culmination of what used to be the teaching standards and the material that we have had from the ITT core curriculum content framework. And this is our perspective of what we think our curriculum should look like. And then in front of you is a summary of the curriculum. So as you can see, the diagram on the right hand side, it's got a spiral curriculum. What this means is we revisit our content, our material, our skills, our knowledge and understanding from year 1, year 2, and year 3. And we try our best to make it sequential, but sometimes this is not possible because of the nature of the curriculum. However, it is developmental, and we build on and we revisit some knowledge and concepts over the 3 years. At the heart of the 3 diagrams, sorry, Laura, at the heart of the, that's all right, that's okay. At the heart of the curriculum there, which is the core curriculum, the professional studies, and the foundation curriculum, you will see that school-based training is at the heart of this. And that is why we value schools' contribution, we value your time, and appreciate all the work that you do with our associate teachers in the classrooms to really make them fantastic teachers that they can become. Thank you. And then this year we have introduced the subject-specific developmental journal. Those colleagues amongst you who have had year 1s coming in, you may have seen them talking about this subject-specific journal. And from now onwards, you will find year 2s this year, and then the year 1s this year, and then next year, the entire cohort, year 1, year 2, will be bringing the subject development journal with you. And in essence, what this is Laura, next slide, please. That it shows what the associate teachers are learning with us. And this is defined by I have learned that. Okay, and then I have learned how to. So these are the 2 strands of the IT curriculum where the knowledge is identified in much detail by us. And then in the 3rd column, the associate teacher, during the lectures, during their own research time, during their own readings, their own discussions, they make note of the learning that they have undertaken. And then when they come to you in school, the final column, the 4th one, they will try and think about how they have put this into practice, the learning into practice, what opportunities they have received to put to apply the knowledge that they have gained from us. So we're trying to create a transition between what they're learning at the university and what is happening in school. And this is recorded by the students in this progress journal. And this will cut through all the subjects that they are taught at the university and the subjects that they will be teaching in schools. Okay.
Thank you. So in terms of dates that associate teachers will be with you, they will be coming out starting from Monday the 16th. So as you can see on there, they're doing 3 Mondays, then they're doing a Monday and a Tuesday, and then they're in for the full week before the half-term holiday. They will have a university tutor briefing, so they will meet with their university tutor on the 17th of February. During that online meeting, the university tutor will check with the associate teachers that they are ready to begin teaching after the half term when their block placement starts. So the block placement dates when they will be teaching are from the 27th of February to the 31st of March. There will be 2 meetings that will take place So a review meeting, which is about halfway through the placement, and a progress meeting, which is at the end of the placement. Both of those meetings will take place with the university tutor, the trainee, the associate teacher, and either the mentor, who is the class teacher, or the lead mentor from the school. It doesn't have to be both people, it can be one person. During both of those meetings, we will have professional discussions about the progress that the associate teachers are making. We will look at the assessment tracker, which I'll share with you shortly, to see where their gaps are, where they need to be targeting, what they need to be focusing on, and looking at the progress that they've made. So they're very much professional discussions. Trainees have to complete something called a critical incident before these meetings. Again, I'll go through what those are with you. They're not something terrible that has happened within school, so I will explain what those are later on. And then the university tutor will meet with the trainees at the end of the placement as well, just as a debrief to find out how everything has gone. There are a small number of our associate teachers who, for various reasons, are completing their first placement rather than their second. Some had to defer last year, and there are a couple that will be doing a resit placement. If that affects you, then we will let you know that you've got a trainee who will be doing a first placement rather than a second placement. In terms of dates, it makes no difference at all. They will be with you for exactly the same dates. But what they're doing on those dates, the slight differences. So they have slightly fewer days that we're classing as preliminary visits to do their preparation. They have their UT briefing on the 7th of February. And then for the first few weeks, rather than teaching, they've got specific tasks that they will be completing. And then from the 13th of March to the 31st of March, that's when they will be doing their teaching. Exactly the same as the rest of them. They'll have a review meeting and they'll have a progress meeting. So as I said, the dates are the same, but what they're doing on those dates, there's slight differences. But we will let you know if you've got a trainee who will be completing school-based training 1 rather than 2. Imran, did you want to do safeguarding?
Yes, Laura, thank you very much. So, our colleagues, as you will know, safeguarding is at the top priority of all schools and the government policy as well. So we ensure that our students, our associate teachers, before they come into school for practice, they complete the safeguarding training. And this year we've provided them 2 sessions of that in different parts. And they also complete, as part of their preparation for this, the prevent training provided by the Home Office. And we expect them to complete a quiz, and they have to score 100% on the safeguarding quiz. Once they have completed that quiz, they upload that certificate to us so that we can verify that they have actually completed the safeguarding training. We also monitor their attendance in the lectures that are related to safeguarding. And they will have a letter from the university confirming that they are DBS clearance. Although we do encourage our students, associate teachers, to take the safeguarding letter from BCU, but also the DBS, just in case some schools would like to have a look at the document. So we do encourage them to take their photo ID, the DBS letter, confirmation certificate, and the BCU safeguarding letter as well. So it is an expectation that they will show this to the school when they first come on the PPSE day on Monday. Okay, and also in relation to what actually happens in school, it is one of the requirements that once they come into the preliminary preparation school experience, then that they find out from the school who the DSL is. But not only the DSL, but also who the deputy DSL is, and anybody else that they can contact as part of the school's DSL team. We also expect them to become familiar with the school's record keeping systems, whatever they are, and how to report and how to record all that. And also to discuss with the lead mentor or the classroom teacher or mentor regarding the local safeguarding priority issues. And as part of our discussions with them, when we see them as university tutors, before they begin the block placement, this is part of the discussion that we have with them. So for instance, in my case, I would ask them, I know that the deputy head teacher and the head teacher are DSL. Could you name me a third person who is a DSL in school, if there is one? Okay, just to make sure that they have engaged with this properly. But also have a conversation about any local safeguarding issues that there might be around the school. So just to see that the associate teachers have explored this safeguarding with the mentor or the lead mentors in school. Yeah, thank you. You want me to continue, Laura?
If you would like to, Imran.
Yeah, that's fine. And so as part of the visits from Monday onwards, they will have a range of tasks to complete. So in addition to the safeguarding tasks, we also ask them to engage with the behavior policy, the assessment policy, and various other things. And then they have a whole list of things which is found in the progress journal so that they can monitor their own progress and ensure that they are prepared both in terms of the policies, but also in terms of the practice, that they have looked at the planning and other things, which we will mention in a second. Also, associate teachers who have a summary statement, special need, they might have a disability, they're expected to have, if they feel they need a placement action plan, they're expected to share that with the school. They will inform us as well, and they're expected to inform that to their university tutor as well, so that any extra support that they require, the school can be prepared in advance for them before they start their block placement. Okay. Right.
You want me to talk about targets?
Yep, carry on.
So initially we've slightly changed the way we're thinking about targets this year. Rather than having targets which carry on over a few weeks, we're very much focusing on specific targets now, really tightening up on that target process. So when they first come to you, they will have had targets set for them at the end of their previous placement. Those targets now, rather than being targets that cover, for example, the first half of their teaching, those will cover the first week of block teaching. So we will be looking for really specific targets that they can really focus in on during that first week of their teaching, and then those will be reviewed during weekly discussions, and new targets will be set for the following week. So the rationale is that this is providing those associate teachers with really specific things that they need to focus on, those the real detail on what they need to be developing in order to make the expected progress. Everything to do with the placement, all of the paperwork is recorded and saved in the associate teacher's school-based training file. Whereas previously it used to be a massive A4 ring binder full of pieces of paper, it's now online. So they will be asked to share that with you via OneDrive. We've given them instructions here. So these are the instructions that they have been given. If they are struggling to share this with you, if there are any technical difficulties, then they can contact the IT help team at university, and they can support with that as well. But the idea is that everything is online, they're shared documents, so the associate teachers can access them and edit them, the university tutors can access and edit them, and colleagues in school can also access and edit them. So we're all working on one document rather than having lots of different copies being emailed backwards and forwards between each other. But as I said, if there's any difficulty with the sharing of the documentation, the IT support team at the university will be able to help. So we'll guide associate teachers to ask them for their support. In terms of teaching requirements, so when they start their block teaching placement for those 5 weeks, during that first week, we're starting off, building them up slowly. We'd like them to teach 1 lesson a day. Within weeks 2 and 3, build up to about 50% of the timetable, and then over the last 2 weeks up to about 60% of the timetable. We would like associate teachers to have the opportunity to plan and teach sequences of lessons where possible, rather than individual lessons, so that they get that experience of planning, assessing, reviewing, and then, you know, going back through the circle, that they go back to their planning, so that they're seeing that cycle and how their assessment informs their future planning. So that is the expectation for teaching. We've said to associate teachers, it's worked out on percentages rather than a number of lessons, because each school has different timetables, lengths of lessons will be different. So it's looking at percentages that work within your timetable. It can be whole class teaching, team teaching, small groups, as much whole class as possible, but it can also include some of that smaller group work as well. Imran, did you want to talk about the planning?
Yes, that's fine. So the expectation is that associate teachers need to ensure that they have an overview of the teaching that is taking place over placement. And for this, that they should have access to midterm plannings. And these midterm plans, we expect them to engage with them, to annotate with them, to begin to try and personalize them as much as they can. The expectation is very clear in terms of lesson planning. Every lesson that they teach needs to be planned, and they need to have it available. And also any lesson of theirs which is observed either by the classroom teacher or the lead mentor or the university tutor, they have to have a lesson plan ready for them so that we can see that what their thinking was, and is that thinking being delivered into the classroom, and also to be able to see that that lesson plan has been derived from their midterm plan. Okay? And we also expect them to follow the protocols of the schools, and whatever the school requires them to plan, modification of plan, that is what we'd expect them to be doing as well. And the other aspect to mention is that if they feel that they want to use the BCU format, there is a BCU lesson format. They can transfer the work that is available from the school's planning documentation and transfer it to the BCU template. That is also acceptable, so that there is something for the observer to go with, and they are very clear in terms of the lesson ownership. We also expect them to save these planning documents in the shared folder that Laura mentioned earlier on, that university tutors do check whether they have been planning and saving these documents in the folders.
Can I just check at this point, just before we carry on, has anybody got any questions at all? No,
Hi. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Some of our lessons that we plan and teach are based off a scheme, so we don't necessarily do a lot necessarily of different planning from the scheme. Yeah. If they're planning, obviously, those lessons, are we allowed to give them the scheme of work and go, this is what we use? You can just kind of put that onto the pro forma kind of thing?
Yeah, what we'd expect, because obviously if that's the scheme that you're using, that's the expectation within your school. If that's what they need to do, that's fine. They don't necessarily have to just copy and paste it onto a BCU planning format. They can use your school planning format however you would normally plan. If there's opportunities for them to make some adaptations and add in any of their own ideas, then we'd encourage that they can do that if that's possible at all.
Okay, thank you.
Right, Laura, we have a question. Somebody is asking, is it one observation a week? Yes, it is one observation week, and I think there is a slide on the observations coming shortly. Yeah.
If you do have any questions as we're going along, if you pop them into the chat, then we'll keep stopping and we can come back to them. I will carry on because I'm very conscious that I don't want to keep you any longer than we have to. One of the expectations is that each week, associate teachers will organise with their class teacher, who is their mentor, or with their lead mentor, to have a set amount of time set aside where they can have a professional development discussion to see how they're getting on that week. This is negotiated with you. It's how whatever fits into your timetable, whether it's in PPA time, whether it's after school. There are no guidelines. We've said to associate teachers, you are very busy people, and it's negotiating what will work best for you. There is a pro forma in their progress journal that they will be bringing with them. So they will complete and keep a record of these discussions, these meetings in their progress journal. So it's an opportunity to talk about what they've learned during the week, think about their observed lesson, what was their feedback that they've been given. So as well as that formal feedback from the observation, it's also a chance for discussing all of those informal feedback opportunities, that are happening daily, just those chats that are happening, and keeping a brief record of those. We would also like targets to be reviewed in that weekly discussion, and new targets then set for the following week, which will probably link back to the results of the observation from that week. But again, we're trying as much as we can to make those targets really specific, really clear, so that the associate teachers know exactly what it is they need to focus on during the next week. Those development discussions, they're also an opportunity to look at the tracker. So this tracker is at the end of the associate teacher's progress journal. So it's all in one document. You can see that it's highlighted. We've got working towards column, working at, and working beyond. I'll go through the expectations where we would expect them to be on the tracker in a couple of slides' time. But during those development discussions, it's a good idea to have a look at the tracker, have a look, maybe identify where the gaps are, and that could then form the basis of targets for the following week. As we said, lesson observations, ideally it's one lesson observation per week, one formal observation, one with written feedback. The first one ideally within 7 days, within that first week of them starting teaching. One observation will be a joint observation, so the university tutor will liaise with you to find a suitable time to come in and work alongside you to carry out an observation. We do explain to the associate teachers that even though that means there's more than one person observing them, that still only counts as one observation. Because they do sometimes like to say that that would be 2 observations, but it's not. That just counts as the one. The university tutor, as I said, will negotiate with you, find a mutually convenient time. It may be when they're coming in to do a review meeting. It may be a standalone visit. Again, the observation forms can be found in the BCU Mentor Guidance, which is available through the website. We've also asked associate teachers to share this with you, and UTs will be able to share this with you as well. If verbal feedback can be given as soon as possible within 24 hours, and then written feedback shared within 5 working days, and associate teachers will save all of this in their online file so that everybody can access it. Imran, did you want to talk about critical incidents?
Yes. Now, a critical incident, obviously, as you know, is defined in various ways. It is not something that has gone horribly wrong or terribly wrong or is a disaster. What we have explained to our associate teachers is that, excuse me, that a critical incident is something that has really changed your thinking, something that has actually made you stop, reflect, and look at something in a different way, or has opened up a corridor of new ideas and things. So anything which has had a profound impact on that, that is what the critical incident is. And it could be something related to pedagogy, it could be something related to the curriculum, it could be something related to working with parents, working in the playground, anything to do with what happens in a school life. We have suggested to them that for the critical review for review meeting 2, they should focus on adaptive teaching as a suggestion. And for the progress meeting 2, they can choose any other incident they want. And the focus there should be on the intent, on the implementation, and on the impact that it has had either on themselves, on their thinking, or on children. Okay, good. And this is discussed. This is discussed at the review meeting 2 and at the progress meeting 2 as well, with the university tutor, the mentor, and the associate teacher themselves.
Shall I carry on, Imran?
Yes, thank you.
So in terms of the assessment of the school-based training, the assessment is based around the tracker, which was shared on a previous slide. At the review meeting, we are saying that trainees who are on track to pass the placement at the end, in that review meeting, they will have, within that first column working towards, about 75% of each of the key themes highlighted within working towards. So they've got about 75% of theme A, 75% of theme B, and so on. That's the minimum that we would expect. And if they're doing that, then that will mean that they are on track. And we will look at that during that review meeting to see where they are. By the end of the placement at the progress meeting, we expect them to have everything highlighted within the working towards column, and they're starting to demonstrate some competence in the working at column as well. So they're moving into that working at rather than working towards. And again, within the progress meeting, this will be discussed with the university tutor, the associate teacher, and school colleagues as well, because obviously school colleagues, you're the ones that will be working with them day in, day out. You will know exactly what they can do and where their areas for development are. I will go through the RIT process shortly, but any associate teachers who haven't met that expectation, we have our rapid improvement targets that we will put in place, but I will explain that to you in a few slides' time. Attendance, the expectation is that associate teachers contact class teachers as soon as possible. If they know they are not going to be able to attend, the expectation is they let you know immediately. If they know the day before, so if it's a continuing absence, if they know the day before that they're not going to be coming in the next day, we tell them, let the school know the afternoon before so that everybody is aware of what is happening that following day. We also expect them to follow whatever your school policy is. So however you and your colleagues record absence, we would expect associate teachers to follow that same process so that it's formally reported. And we also ask that they report it to us at the university through that system as well. Imran, do you want to talk about university tutors?
Yes, so colleagues, the university tutor is the first point of contact between yourselves and the associate teacher. Okay, and the associate teacher's briefing takes place online, as we outlined earlier on, and they are the voice of the university, whereby they make sure that the student, the associate teacher, has received the support that they are entitled to, making sure that they have engaged with all the preliminary tasks that have been outlined for them, and that they are ready, most importantly, with the planning for the first week of their placement. Usually this takes place on the Friday before the block placement starts, but because people's timetables being varied, sometimes it can take place 2 days before, or sometimes in the morning or afternoon of the final day. The university tutor is also a participant at the review meeting 2 and also at the progress meeting 2 as well. So they are part of that professional discussion that takes place between the school, the university, and the associate teacher. They will also carry out an observation that could be with the review meeting or the progress meeting, or it could be a standalone observation without those tools. Next slide, please.
Has that changed for you, Imran? It's changed on my screen.
No, it hasn't for me.
How about now?
Yes, now it has changed. Yeah, yes. So associate teachers will also need to talk to the classroom teacher and the lead mentor and other colleagues in school for any support that they require, any guidance they might need in relation to planning, resources, teaching, school procedures, playground duties, staff meeting attendance, and so forth. And any queries that associate teachers have before or during the school placement, block placement, they are addressed by the university tutor. And the name of the university tutor this year will be informed to them by next Monday or Tuesday, I think, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, and university tutors will get in touch with you to introduce themselves. If you then have any further questions about any documentation, they will be the person to contact, but you have got our contact details as well, should you need them.
And during that first contact that the university tutor makes with the mentor or the lead mentor, they will also complete what we call a initial conversation with school form, which is an electronic form which gathers key information that the university requires from schools.
Now, hopefully everything will go beautifully and our associate teachers will make the progress that we're expecting. If that doesn't happen, if there are associate teachers who aren't making the progress that we would expect, are at risk of not passing the placement, then we start the RIT process, which is Rapid Improvement Targets. So these can be put in place if associate teachers aren't making the progress that we would expect. They can also be put in place if you've got concerns around personal and professional conduct as well. So if you've got any concerns around professional behaviours, then RIT targets can be issued to address those. If you do have concerns and you think this is something that may need to be implemented, we would ask that you contact your university tutor as soon as possible, because it's better to start this process early, put that support and targets in place, and then hopefully the associate teachers with this additional support, with these additional targets, will make progress and be successful. So as soon as if you've got a slight sense that something might become a little issue later on, if you know they're not making progress that you would expect, please make contact as soon as possible so that we can put this process into place. There is BCU mentor guidance. This is available through our primary partnership website. Associate teachers will also share it with you. It includes all of the proformas, all of the lesson observation proformas, the rapid improvement target proforma. So all of the information is there. So as I said, it will also be emailed to you and is available through the website. Before I hand over just for the last few minutes to Anne, who is one of our colleagues who's joined us, are there any questions about the placement that anybody would like answered?
Nothing in the chat, Laura.
Can I just say, would you advise that they go and visit other classes to go and see phonics further up the school and things like that, if that's available to them?
Yeah, we always say if there are those opportunities, it's always really beneficial for their professional development. Obviously, they're based in their class and that's where they do their teaching, that's where they build the relationships, but it's always really good professional development to go and see what other people are doing. So if it's possible, yes. Okay, if there's no more questions, I'm going to hand over to Anne, who has just got a few slides to share with you just about the CPD training that is available. Oh, Anne, it says you've taken control.
Are you allowing me to do that? That'd be really good.
Yes, I think you've got control.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's lovely.
So,
I have. Yeah, great. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. And lovely to see you, and lovely to see some familiar faces as well. So, you know, great that you joined this school mentor briefing, and I hope all the information that's shared has been really helpful to you as well. I know that both Laura and Imran have really plugged the primary partnership website, and really, you know, that's your go-to place to be able to collect or to look at all of the information. In fact, I've already put the slides up from today's session. So if you go onto the Primary Partnership website, you'll see that the slides that Laura and Imran have been using are already up there. And then we'll upload the recording as soon as that's completed today as well. So you'll have both access to the PowerPoint and to the recording as well. And just a very quick sort of update, if you're new to working with us at the moment, or you haven't worked with us before this academic year, we have got some important information that we share with you on the Primary Partnership website that you can access looking at our mentor induction. It talks about our hub leads, which many of you, if you're a mentor, you will be invited to join particular meetings looking at how we can develop that community practice between our mentors and trying to develop, working together more collaboratively. It also outlines the information that Laura has just mentioned about the mentor guidance, so you can find that. And if it's specifically changed for a particular year group, that will be on the placement document section. So if you have got an opportunity to check and look at the Primary Partnership website, click on the link now on the screen, and that should take you directly to there, to that particular site, and you'll be able to see all of the information that Laura and Imran have been sharing this afternoon as well. We also include the calendars, which you can find on the Primary Partnership website. And I apologise if I've just quickly rushed through that slide. You're just about to kind of click on the link, which again will outline where the year 2 placement dates are, etc. So you've got an idea when our further CPD is available to you, and you're more than welcome to come and join that if you haven't already done so. If you're not able to join any CPD, we understand it's very challenging in schools, but we're trying to really signpost our support to helping you to engage with our paperwork. So we've just been looking at Monday's session at the lesson observation feedback form. So if you want to have a look at CPD2, it's already up there on the mentor site. I haven't put the recording up yet, but the PowerPoint is there and examples of lesson observation. So if you want to get ahead of the game, then there's some information there to help you as well. But we're trying to be very proactive in supporting everybody on a needs must basis. And again, this is an example of the other sessions that we are offering. All of the links are already up there on the website. So if you want to come along, then you just go to the website and you can click on the link, and that will take you directly to our CPD training, not only for CPD2, but also for CPD3 in March as well. And just really to say, your engagement and the way that you work with us is really very much appreciated, and our sort of way of checking that that involvement or is looking if you can engage with the mentor induction. And if you haven't got time to look at the whole mentor induction, there is a brief overview of information on the website. We're trying very hard to make it as user friendly as possible. So if you do have a look at information and you're not sure or you're not clear, I'm more than happy to kind of help you sort of understand that further. But we do ask you if you can use the Primary Partnership website as your go-to. It's like you haven't got a mentoring file. You've got this wonderful website for you to kind of have a look at. So please use that as well. And just to say thank you very much indeed. And if you want to have any specific questions, I know for the BA team, you're working very closely with Nadeem Hussain. And of course, you have Laura and Imran as well. But Kira, Jenna and I are also available in the partnership team to support you as well. So thank you for your time today. And it's great to see so many of you. And look forward to, if you've got any questions, more than happy to answer those as well. So thank you very much indeed. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Imran.
You're welcome, Anne.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We all know how busy you are, so we do appreciate you taking the time out to attend. So as I said, if you've got any questions, please just get in contact, and have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.